Servus Männer, it's Red Pill Germany again. Today I want to report from Germany about the reactions of the recent events in party capitals such as Stuttgart and Frankfurt by the German left. So, how does the German left react to that? What are the narratives that they are pushing? What is their comment? All right. So, as you know, in Stuttgart and in Frankfurt, in these inner cities, it's summer, it's warm right now, and let's say that our irregular guests in Germany they are displaying some colorful um, celebrations there. They are very life affirming, joyful people, and maybe during the course of these life affirming, joyful, colorful celebrations, dozens of police officers might get hurt and attacked, and shops might be destroyed, and property might be stolen. All these things happen during parties, right? So I already told you in the case of Stuttgart, the capital of Baden-Württemberg, a state with a Green Party governor, and the city also has a Green Party mayor. And in my video about that, I told you that they actually sided with the police. Technically, they wanted to show that they are, in fact, pro law and order. They did not make up excuses for these people, at least not in a big way. And in Frankfurt, maybe a little bit of a different story. I might report about the social democratic mayor. Um, Maybe in another video, but in today's video I basically want to focus about something that the governor of the state of Rheinland-Pfalz, Miss Malu Dreyer, from the Social Democrats, said. And Malu is a strange name. I think it's Marie Louise Anna or something. And yeah, these hippies, these social democrats, they don't like these classical German names, so they call her Malu instead, as if she were from Africa or something. All right, so she said, as a response to these events, mainly in Frankfurt, but also globally, I think, in Germany, she said that the police should practice more restraint when dealing with these young party people, and they should practice de escalation. Now, the obvious question is, what did the police do? I mean, has she not watched the videos? Has she not read the reports? Did she not look at what the eyewitnesses have to say? The police was actually practicing de escalation. This is the reason why these places got trashed in the first place. Yeah? The police didn't use force at any time. And I told you in Frankfurt, for example, the police was pelted with bottles. And in Stuttgart, also, officers were injured. And so she makes it sound like it was the other way around. She makes it sound like that the police was seeking confrontation, that the police was violent. And if you listen to her, you might get the impression that the police hurt innocent people and not the other way around. Yeah. Well, not really, not the other way. So, guilty people actually injured officers. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah. But I think you get my point. So, she also has an explanation, of course, for why these parties are maybe a little rough and a little wild. She says it's just so understandable. I mean, because of all these lockdowns now, and clubs cannot open, bars, pubs are closed. So these party people, I mean, they have to do that. They're forced to do that because they don't have a private garden where they can invite 500 friends for a rave party. So they have to attack officers who are just doing their job, and they have to destroy public property and businesses, privately owned businesses and private houses. See, there is just no other way. It's they're forced to do that, right? And I have to say though that she received a lot of backlash. and mainly from the CSU and the CDU. So the center cucks are, of course, they're happy for such a chance that presents itself to them, so that they can position themselves in turn as Mr. and Mrs. Law of Order. Yeah, and the evil social democrats, they are then yeah, the downfall of Germany, the end of law and order. But if you vote for the CDU, yeah, then law and order will be maintained in Germany. That is this little play that they enact in Germany, this theater performance, this simulation of democracy, because you know that it was the CDU that brought these people here in the first place. It was the CDU and the CSU who, against the warnings, the many warnings and the accurate predictions of actual conservative people and of actual patriotic people, they refused to listen, and they opened the borders, and they let all these people that bear a lot of hatred in their hearts, they let these people into Europe. Yeah? They hate us. They don't want to integrate. They don't want to work. They don't want to pay taxes. They only want to receive gifts. Yeah? And if they don't get what they want, as you have seen in France right now, in Nantes, then it gets a little hot, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah? Out of frustration, they do the most horrible things. And maybe this is part of the reason why there is 250,000 people, and I think the true number is actually higher, in Germany right now, who, according to our laws and the decisions of our administration, which is lenient, very lenient, they would have to legally leave our country, but it's just not enforced. See, our politicians, they enforce laws when they want to, when it suits them, and they refuse to enforce laws when they don't feel like it. Yeah, and that is what you're seeing here. But I have to say one more thing towards the end. Well, not really the end, but I want to add one more thing, and that is that the left in Germany is, of course, not a monolithic bloc. They're not all the same. So the Social Democratic Party leadership right now, yeah, Mrs. Esken, for example, yeah, they are very far left. They're really old school Western German commies, right? And they want to destroy the system and dismantle patriarchy and capitalism and these old school 1980s communists. Yeah. But of course, the Social Democratic Party also has a more business friendly, a more centrist wing or core, maybe. It's the old core of the party. Believe it or not, like many years ago, the Social Democrats, they said stuff that nowadays patriots say. Yeah, if you go back just many decades, you will find that some truly based sentiments were uttered by Social Democrats in Germany. But these days are long gone. But nevertheless, there remains a core, a shrinking core of relatively centrist Social Democrats, but they are not having the upper hand at the moment. So don't be fooled if the leadership says something crazy now. They're not all like that. Yeah? And even in the Green Party has the most extreme, most deranged politicians and people in Germany. But in Baden-Württemberg, where they have the most success, the story is a little bit different. You know, I told you many times before, in our southwesternmost state, they are a little more based. It is a weird conservative kind of Green Party that you have there. They're maybe farmers, or they like the environment, they like hiking, they like their bio food, their fair trade, organic food, right? And many of them are Catholics or Protestants, so still Christian. And it's a different tribe of Green Party people that you see there. And they are more compatible with the masses. Yeah, they get more votes there because they are so rooted in sometimes small town and rural life. And in the Social Democratic Party, you see the old worker party people, yeah, the old stock, if you wish, from the Social Democrats, and they are a little bit different. Yeah? So we cannot make these broad statements about Social Democrats. I think I would never vote for them. God forbid. I mean, in my book, they're still bad, but there are different degrees of bad. There are different shades of red, if you wish. Okay, and Malu Dreyer, who is the governor of Rheinland-Pfalz, once again, the governor of a state in Western Germany, she is obviously very far removed from reality, and I would characterize what she said as a lazy attempt. Actually, I mean, she cannot even write proper German. Actually, her her spelling of German words is ludicrous. I mean, it seems like she skipped primary school and then didn't go to school afterwards, right? So, but that's neither here nor there. But it seems like it is a very lazy attempt to just take narratives that come out of the United States right now, that have nothing to do with Germany and Europe. I mean, we also have a very problematic group of minorities, but the way that these minorities came here and the way that our police reacts to all that, this is completely different. The only similarity is, yes, these groups of people with their heritage, with their ancestry, they do what they always do. But this is where the similarities end, right? So, but what she's doing now, she is taking these narratives that come out of the United States, where you have actual victims of police officers, people who actually get injured or who actually tragically die during a arrest or something. And these narratives that are spun out of these situations in the United States, she is just using in Germany now, where it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It is absolutely nonsensical. It, it is insanity. Or it's just really that she's being lazy beyond measure. I cannot believe, But the media is doing the same thing. I told you many times. They're taking narratives and they're just changing a couple of words. They're changing the names of the towns and the states from American ones to German ones, and the rest of the article is basically the same, as if we were living in the United States here. Absolutely ludicrous, absolutely insane. And this is a prime example where the governor of a German state is literally doing that. But the difference to the United States is here also, she received a lot of backlash from the mainstream, not just from patriots or from conservatives, but from relatively mainstream sources. She received a lot of backlash. And also, I have to say, after the events in Stuttgart, in the media, there were not many people. There were a couple of fringe commenters here and there, but the overwhelming majority of the newspapers and other media sources, they were relatively neutral when they reported on it. I mean, yes, of course, I talked about that, right? I mean, they were trying to hide the fact that it was these kinds of people, and they were not truthfully reporting, but nobody tried to say that this is okay. Yeah, nobody tried to say, oh, this is justified anger. Most people weren't saying that. Most people said the police has to do something about this. This is not okay. This is what most people said. They lied about other things like who did what and what, but they were not saying this is okay. And that's the difference. In the United States, I read U.S. sources, I watch U.S. news reports, and a lot of what I hear from the US mainstream is that, oh, peaceful protest, mostly peaceful, oh yeah, it's justified. And then also churches are not allowed to open, businesses are not allowed to open. But it's totally fine if thousands of people march down the streets shouting, walking shoulder to shoulder, breathing each other's air, right? Yeah, I mean, this double standard in that crass form doesn't exist in Germany, and the media wasn't so one-sided, and they didn't say that these these parties, let's say, were okay. Yeah, that's what I have to state as a clear difference. At least a shred of sanity remains in Germany. Let's see for how long. Okay, this is it from my side for today. I catch you guys again later if you like. Be safe wherever you might be. Servus, Kameraden.